Do you remember the thrilling adventures of the Robinson family in Lost in Space? The sci-fi gadgets, the danger, the unforgettable line, "Danger, Will Robinson." But behind the scenes, the stars who brought this legendary show to life faced struggles far beyond the stars: addiction, heartbreak, loneliness, even tragedy. Today, we reveal the real stories behind the characters we loved. This is more than nostalgia, it's a tribute. So stick with us as we honor 10 beloved Lost in Space actors who tragically passed away. Their legacies deserve to be remembered. Don't miss a moment. Let's begin with Jonathan Harris, the man who turned Dr. Zachary Smith into a television icon. Born Jonathan Karasuchian in the Bronx, New York, Harris grew up in poverty so severe he often slept on a dining chair while his mother rented out their only bedroom. This early hardship left a scar that would never fully heal. To escape his humble beginnings, Harris even changed his thick Bronx accent to a posh British one. On screen, he was hilarious and cunning. Behind it, he was tortured by the fear of being forgotten. After Lost in Space was canceled, Harris spiraled into a deep crisis. He refused a role in the 1998 movie adaptation, not wanting to ruin the character he so carefully crafted. Despite a 6-decade career and appearances in classics like A Bug's Life and Toy Story 2, Harris died in Los Angeles in 2002, just 3 days before his 88th birthday. Still haunted by the shadows of his past, Guy Williams, known to millions as Dr. John Robinson, was the dignified, courageous leader of the Robinson family in Lost in Space. Born Armando Catalano in New York, Williams brought a regal presence to the screen that instantly captured hearts. With his towering figure and commanding charisma, he embodied the perfect space-age father figure. But once the cameras stopped rolling, his life took a lonely turn. Seeking solace, Williams moved to Buenos Aires, Argentina, where he lived alone for months. On April 30th, 1989, tragedy struck. He died from a brain aneurysm. His body wasn't discovered until days later in his quiet apartment in the Recoleta neighborhood. Once revered as Zorro and a beloved figure in South America, Williams spent his final days wandering the streets, hoping someone would still recognize him. His ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean, far from the fame and family he once knew. Then there's Mark Goddard, the brave and loyal Major Don West. Behind the heroic facade, Goddard battled real-world struggles, divorce, depression, and emotional trauma. Born in Lowell, Massachusetts, his life took a dark turn after a close family friend was murdered, a tragedy that deeply scarred him. When Lost in Space was canceled, his career faltered, and he was forced to take lesser roles, including the disco-era film Roller Boogie, just to survive. Yet, redemption came. With the support of his third wife, Evelyn Pazula, Goddard returned to college, earned a master's degree, and began teaching children with disabilities, a quiet act of heroism. He passed away in 2023, leaving behind a legacy of resilience. Meanwhile, Bob May, hidden inside the robot suit, and Dick Tufeld, the voice behind the iconic Danger, Will Robinson, gave life to Lost in Space's most memorable character. Yet behind the fame was quiet sacrifice. May endured physical strain and obscurity, while Tufeld battled aging and fading relevance, both ultimately passing with far less recognition than they deserved. One of the darkest stories belongs to Albert Salmi, who played Alonzo P. Tucker. A talented actor with over 150 credits, Salmi was also a deeply troubled man. In 1990, amid a deteriorating marriage marked by alcohol abuse and domestic violence, he shot and killed his wife Roberta, then turned the gun on himself. It was a shocking end to a life that once brimmed with potential. Salmi had once starred in Daniel Boone and Lawman, but personal demons consumed him. His gravestone in Spokane, Washington reads simply, "Our beloved dad," a tragic reminder of what fame can't heal. That we have worn oats. Remembered for his role as Jimmy Hapgood, charismatic and wild, Oates only appeared in one episode, but his presence was unforgettable. Off-screen, he lived fast for marriages, heavy drinking, wild parties. He burned the candle at both ends, despite serious health concerns. He never slowed down. He died in 1982 at just 53, his ashes scattered over his private ranch in Montana. Still, he remains a cult favorite thanks to roles in The Wild Bunch and Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. Leonard Stone, who played Farnham, had a quieter yet resilient journey. Born in Salem, Oregon, Stone appeared in over 120 TV shows and 35 films. His roles in Willy Wonka and The Chocolate Factory and Soylent Green made him a familiar face. He kept working until the very end, passing away in California in 2011 after a battle with cancer. His life was steady, no scandals, no fame seeking, just honest work, and a legacy built on consistency. Another name in the cast was Sheila Allen, who portrayed Aunt Gamma. Born in New York in 1929, Allen was more than an actress. She was also the wife of producer Irwin Allen. After his death, she took over his production company, helping bring to life the remake of Poseidon in 2006. Though she faced criticism as just the producer's wife, she managed to build her own quiet empire. She died in Malibu in 2013. Her name forever linked to the golden age of disaster films. Fritz Feld, who played Mr. Zumbish, had one of the longest careers in Hollywood, spanning over 70 years and more than 140 films. Born in Berlin in 1900, Feld became known for his signature lip-pop sound. Off-camera, he was a devoted husband to Virginia Christine and a passionate chess enthusiast. He passed away peacefully in 1993 at age 93, having bridged the silent era to color television with grace and humor. Marcel Hiller, known for his role as the Junkman, was a German-born actor who fled the Nazis and built a new identity in America, often portraying French characters. Hiller carried the weight of his past while charming audiences with his wit and style. He performed solo shows across the U.S., educating students on French culture. He died in 1988, a quiet end to a remarkable, transformative life. Then came Robert Falk as Caspo, the gruff space bandit. Falk was more than just a character actor, he was also an architect, with appearances in classics like Bonanza and The Untouchables. Falk worked tirelessly in the background of Hollywood's biggest shows. He died in California in 1989, leaving behind a legacy of reliability and craft. And finally, there was Dee Hartford, the beautiful face behind Verda, the robot who learned how to feel. A former Vogue model from Lake City, she married legendary director Howard Hawks, a union that quickly turned toxic. After the divorce, she fought her way back into the industry, landing roles in Perry Mason and Lost in Space. But by the late 1960s, she had withdrawn from the screen. Worn down by Hollywood's brutal demands, she passed away in 2013. Her character, Verda, remembered as a rare mix of emotion and strength. These stories of triumph, tragedy, and quiet resilience remind us that behind the glitter of television, real people lived, loved, and suffered. Lost in Space gave us heroes and robots, explorers and villains. But it also gave us a cast of deeply human beings who left behind something far more valuable than special effects, a legacy, one of passion, sacrifice, and unforgettable presence. Which Lost in Space star story touched your heart the most? Tell us in the comments, and if you felt something today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the real journeys often begin when the cameras stop rolling. Thanks for watching.